Hey, hey, welcome back to Ghost Tracks Podcast. My name is Tina and I am your host, and I am joined today by Miss Kylie.
I
She's gonna hang out with us today and tell me about aliens, which we all know I'm thrilled over.
thank you for having me. This is my favorite topic.
I know, I know. It's not
I love
mine,
it.
but we're here.
Since I was a kid, I blame Robert Stack. I first heard about aliens in Roswell when I was probably about 8 years old, watching Unsolved Mysteries and having the crap scared out of me weekly, but I could not look away. I loved the show, and that's where I first heard about it.
Yeah, see, I never watched anything unsolved mysteries. Well, I probably did like true crimey ones, but never an alien one. Um I think I've seen E.T. I know I've seen E.T. when I was younger, and it was horrifying. And then the next
I loved
Alien
it.
movie was Signs, and my mom took
That
me.
one. That one will fuck you up.
Yes, it did. My mom actually was just talking about that with me because she's the one that took me to see it when I was, like, 16, I think, 15, 16 years old. Oh my god, she's like, "Yeah, you clawed my arm." I said, "You're damn right I did."
I don't generally get scared about, like, horror movies or scary movies don't really phase me,
Mhm.
but Signs was the only movie where I have audibly screamed during the movie in the theater. Like, I've never, ever screamed out loud at a movie before. That little alien leg in the cornfield,
Yes.
that's what did it. That's
Yep.
what did it.
Yeah, my mother, she's such a lovely mother. I love her to death. But this woman, this kind-hearted woman, locked me out of her bedroom for like 4 days because she knew full well that I was going to be scared shitless and I was gonna wanna sleep in her bed. So I had to sleep in my brother's bed for like almost a week, I think it took me before I could go back in my own bedroom. And every time like the fridge kicked on at night, I was like, "Oh my god, they're coming to get me!" Like, I was wigging out. It was terrible. I didn't even watch the whole movie. Like, I went and hid in the bathroom at the theater and cried.
I was obsessed with it, absolutely obsessed with it. I was like, "M. Night Shyamalan is a king," and then
Yeah.
he keeps getting put in movie jail.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he'll, like, make a movie and it'll piss Hollywood off, so he has to go to movie
Oh, well.
jail, and he can't make a
Who
movie jail
doesn't piss
anymore.
Hollywood off these days? I'm actually reading an M. Night Shyamalan book right now, and, I'm shooketh about the co-author. So Nicholas Sparks. It's a Nicholas Sparks book.
What?
I know. I was, like,
What?
perusing the book aisle in Walmart
Okay,
because this is what I
okay,
do.
hang on. You've really messed with my head right now because,
Mhm.
first of all, I didn't know I wrote books
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
a collab with Nicholas Sparks. Okay,
uh-huh.
so is
So
someone,
I'm
like,
like
having a tragic love affair with an alien? Is that what's
I was
happening?
walking down the book aisle and I saw, a Nicholas it was Nicholas Sparks in big letters, right? And I was like, "This motherfucker is still writing books?" Like, "Oh my god." Because I
He's
used to
not
read
done
all
ruining
of his
us.
stuff. And then I saw another name under it, and I was like, "He almost never does co-authors." I think the only other book I know of that he had a co-author was with his brother. So I was like, "What is that?" So I, like, get up to it and I look and it says M. Night Shyamalan, and I was like, "No fucking way."
Okay, I have to what is the title? Because I have to read it now. It's
I think it's just Remains or Remain.
okay.
Let me pull it up. So yeah, I've been listening to that because I don't have time to just sit and read. So it's a supernatural
Oh,
love story.
right. I have had an Audible account since the
Mm.
inception of the app, and I have thousands of books.
Oh god, yeah,
Like, I was definitely primed and ready for my, other favorite hobby, the erotica,
do
because
it,
I'm listening to the smut anyway.
right?
They just dial it down to about 20 minutes. Let's get right through it. We don't have to wait for 300 pages.
Right. But, yeah, so not aliens, it seems to be a ghosty situation, but it's pretty good so far trying to figure out the
Yeah,
the who
okay, I
did
just bought
it
it. Thanks for that.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, just bought it.
I have
Wait, who's narrating?
I don't remember. There's 2 narrators. He's not bad. The man well, neither one of them are do a
Nicholas Sparks is one of the narrators. He's the male narrator, and
I don't think he's the male for the whole thing. I
that
think he just does the forward, I
there's
thought.
3. There's 2
Yeah.
women? Is that another woman?
No, no, there's
Ari?
not 2
No,
women.
that's another man?
Yeah. Let's see, title
Ari?
details. We're
This
doing investigation, guys. Hold on.
I'm not even going to attempt that last name.
Let's see. How do I find
And
where the hell
Julia
do I find it?
Whalen. Whelan. Julia Whelan? So
I can't
if you
oh,
go
there it is.
to the
Mm.
book
Yeah.
details,
So
it's just under the
Ari
title.
is the male narrator. Julia, wait, I think it's Waylon would be for the female, and then Nicholas Sparks, he just does the foreword in the book.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, M. Night Shyamalan and Nicholas Sparks, guys. If you have any interest in a supernatural love story, go ahead and buy it because I was shocked.
As a matter of fact, I do have interest in that. That's wonderful.
Ew!
I do.
I was just like, I'm still, I'm probably over halfway done with the book, and I still can't believe that this was not on my 2026 bingo card. Okay,
Things just keep getting weirder and weirder. Like, the
it,
way that my life has changed in the last
mhm,
2 years, and it
yeah.
just keeps going down a weird rabbit hole, but I'm into it, man. I don't know how much I believe in astrology, but, like, everything I keep seeing about Geminis, like, it's happening, man. It's happening, and I'm embracing it.
Are you a Gemini also?
I am, I'm a May Gemini, yeah.
I'm a June Gemini. My friend
Hey, yeah.
Heather from Tell Me a Scary Story podcast. She's a May Gemini. Her
Okay,
birthday's coming up.
the guy that I keep seeing on Instagram that I follow,
Mhm.
we are coming into our power era.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what he keeps saying, and I love this dude because it's like he sees right through me, and he blows my mind every time he comes across my feed.
Have you ever done aura photography? Like, have you ever had one done?
No, but now I want to.
Okay, so I got mine done. Did I put this in the Discord? I think I did.
Possibly. I've been a little absent from that Discord, which
That's
is
okay. I
terrible.
get
Angie,
here. Let me
Kyle,
show
I'm
you.
sorry.
Aw. Okay, let me show you this one picture. So I've done it 2 years in a row now. Last year was the first year that I did it, and my aura was essentially all one color. And I was like, I mean, I get it because I've had all this stuff happening and going on and, just there's just been a lot, right? And so I did it again this year, and I truly and honestly, like 100,000,000% thought that my aura was going to be very similar because a lot of people say that they are. Like, your aura doesn't really change that drastically. Mine did.
Unless you're a
Trying to
Gemini in
find this before.
2026.
It has to be, and that's exactly what she told me was, "You are coming into you are coming into yourself. You have" what did she say? "You cleared out a lot in the last year." I was like, "Oh, girl, do you have no idea."
Mhm.
I was like, "I've had some
Yeah.
major, major life changes." Okay, so that was last year.
Okay.
Are you ready for this
Okay.
year?
Yeah, please. Whoa! Look
I
at the
know.
beautiful colors.
I know. She's like,
Okay,
"That
now
orange."
where did you get this done? I need this.
So, the Oddities Expo.
Oh,
So, I don't know where
you know
about you're
what?
from, but
I'll Google it.
yeah.
I'm in the Dallas area.
Okay, so Oddities and
Somebody gotta
Curiosity
be there.
Expo, they come out, but yeah, this is Aura and Iris is their little business name. I
Okay.
know that there's other places that do it all over the US, but this is who's done mine the last 2 years. They're fantastic, and she reads the aura photos and tells you what they
Okay.
mean
Okay,
also.
that's
So
cool.
they're fantastic people. She's so nice. Her husband or partner is super, super great. So, yeah, she's like, "Wow, you've had some major changes. You've cleared out a lot of stuff. Like, you've had some really traumatic and big things happen." I'm like, "Mhm." And
Mhm.
she's like, "But you are fully embracing who you are, and you're coming into your own, and you're standing in your power." And I'm like, "Yay me."
Mhm.
So, yeah,
I
Gemini.
never I I didn't know if I believed in auras and people that could see
Mhm.
them until I actually saw one. and I have no explanation for why I saw this on this particular person or in this particular instance. I still to this day can't explain what I was looking at, and if it wasn't an aura, then I don't know what it was. So I was dating this guy. He was a very tall, very beautiful bass player in a band. He's very, very beautiful. And we went hiking in southern Utah, and we were with some
Mm,
friends, and so we hiked up on top of this rock, and he was very like, I had met his mother just before the hike, and that explained a lot about him, like, she was very, like, hippie kind of, so that's how he was
mhm.
raised, right? Very, like, spiritual, not religious.
Right.
And we get up on top of this rock, and everyone separates so that we can, just kind of, like, absorb and have our moment, and I looked over at him, and his clothes are gone. Brother
Mhm.
is naked, and he's on this rock, like, on the edge, arms out.
All of our
And I
dreams.
was like and I'm like I said, like, he had been a bodybuilder, so I'm, like, sitting there like, "Noise," right?
Right.
But then, like, I'm looking at him, and he is surrounded in purple, in this purple light, and I was like,
Oh.
"The hell is that?" And, like, my vision's kinda shit, like, it was much
Right.
better then than it is now, but, you know, and I'm like, "Maybe my contacts are, like, messed up or something," and I'm looking at everyone else, and I'm not seeing anything. But
Mhm.
there is this purple ring around this man, and I was like, "You know what? That tracks." Like, that was total
Right.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, yeah, that's him,"
I see, I love
and I've
astrology.
never experienced it before or
Yeah.
since.
I have so many books over here on my big old bookshelf over yonder. There's my 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, and I have many, many astrology books. I would love to be able to read, like, birth charts and do all of that without needing to, like, "Here, let me go look in this book,
Right.
figure it out." But every Gemini that I know right now is absolutely going through some shit, like,
Ain't
all
it?
the shit.
I met recently my content on TikTok and Instagram is all pretty much surrounding audio erotica,
Mhm,
and those are all my best friends, those are my people, my chosen family. And I met a woman recently that we immediately clicked, and it was because she was doing videos,
mhm.
and she is a May Gemini, and and the stuff we're going through together
Yep.
is insane how it all lines up. Our birthdays are 10 days apart.
Oh,
Like, our personal lives are lining up, our professional lives are lining up. It's insane.
yep. Yep. No, there's a hell of a lot of rearranging. I know several Geminis, divorces, like big, big, big life changes right now. But I think it's all just like 2025 really like rocked my world like majorly. 2020 like coming into 2026 was like that final like booting out of all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And then I've had some other stuff happen, but I think it's for me, I think my stuff is finally just, like, trying to play catch up, and now I'm trying to like, everything's kinda tumbling into place a little bit,
Mhm.
and I think for other Geminis, they're going through, like, the big shifting right now and the tumbling all at the same time. So, I'm curious, like, I don't know what and I don't remember off the top of my head, I guess, what the other people that I know what their big 3 are, because obviously it has a lot to do with, like, your other planets too, but yeah, Gemini suns are
Yeah.
getting their shit rocked
Oh, yeah.
so bad.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep, but
For all of my
we're
Gemini
also
listeners, my heart is with you.
yeah, we see you. We
We
see you.
stand in solidarity.
Yeah, it's, did you feel this coming? I have felt this coming for the last couple of years, and it was the end of 2024 that, I found audio erotica, and when I found it, it was like that was the first piece that clicked into place, and I was like,
Mhm.
"This is it. This is, like, whatever has been coming for me."
Right,
Because that's what it felt like, was that there was something coming, and I just needed to be patient. It
right.
wasn't right yet. And so I spent, um, the tail end of 2024 and all of 2025, uh, becoming someone new.
Yeah. Well, it's funny
I
you
must be
say
someone new.
yeah, it's funny that you say it the way that you just said it because I was just about to say 2024 was when I really was, like, hardcore considering this podcast. Like, I'd wanted to do it for years. I have always been a spooky person. I have always wanted to do paranormal investigations and just everything that the paranormal has to do with, like, I just wanted to be in that space more than anything. It's where I feel very at home. And so 2024 was really when I, like, started, like, "Okay, this is gonna happen, like, I need a name, let's work on getting my cover art," and all of that stuff. 2025, January 25, I launched my first episode, and it was go time. And I'm getting in my own way, and I know that I'm getting in my own way.
Mm.
I have a
No.
lot happening in my life, so, like, my growth is not exponential right now. I've had big things happen in the last 7, 8 months, so that's kind of, like, shifted focus and stuff, you know, getting in there. I have 2 sons that one is graduating this year, my other one graduates next year, so I'm, like, track and field, cross country mom, I'm in senior year, like, for my one
That
son, like, so
that was my catalyst. I have 3, and in, summer 2024, my youngest graduated from high school,
mhm,
and she wasn't immediately off to college, so I was like, she's gonna stick around for a while." But
mhm,
she had a very serious boyfriend, someone that, like, that love him. Most of the
right,
time, he's my favorite child. So, so that wasn't an issue, and they were wanting to move in together. He was living with us at the time,
mhm.
and I was consoling myself saying, "It's too hard for young people to get out of the house these
It
days.
is,
It's too expensive. They'll be here for a while." I was
right.
very wrong. You do not bet against my son-in-law. They were up and out of this house a month after she graduated, and
God,
"What the fuck am I supposed to do
all
now?"
good? Like, everything's good? They're doing amazing, I hope? Yeah?
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
could not
good.
have built
Awesome.
her a better man.
I
I
love
am
that.
so lucky. I am so lucky that I get to lay my head down at night and not have to worry about my daughter. She is taken care of, she is loved, she is put on a pedestal as it should be because
Yes,
she's so much better than I deserve. Oh, she's incredible.
I love it.
So that is all good, but I've been a stay-at-home mom for the majority of my child raising
Mhm,
years, and suddenly I was out of a job,
right,
and I didn't know what to do. I
right.
was absolutely it put me flat on my back for a solid 3 months. I
Mhm.
bedrotted, I wept. It
Oh
was a
god, all I
very,
do is cry.
very dark period.
Literally,
Yes, it
all I
was a
do is
very
cry.
dark period. Yes.
I don't know,
Yeah,
'cause
it was tough.
I've been a mom since I was 17. That's when I got pregnant with my
I
daughter.
was very young.
Yeah. So I was 17 when I got pregnant with her, and now I'm 39. My youngest will be 18 in October, and I'm like, "What the
Mhm.
fuck am I gonna do with myself?" I've only ever been a mother. Like, my whole adult life, I have
Yes,
just been a mother. I never got to just be a kid, a young adult, I never and that's fine. Like, I don't a very tiny itty bitty part of me is like, "Man, what did I miss?" But then
of
majority of me
course.
is like, "Nothing, bitch, you missed nothing. You missed a whole bunch of freaking drunken, stupid ass nights that you probably woulda got yourself in trouble." The people that I hung around on a, tiny island in Washington State, like, there was nothing good going on at that time. So, no, and I don't think I missed anything. I raise amazing kids too. I love my children, but I'm not ready. I'm ready, but I'm not ready all at the same time. I'm having a very hard
You
time.
can never you can never be ready.
And with the way the world is right
My
now, like,
boys
I'm
are
so
still at home.
scared shitless of letting the world be the ones to take care
Yes.
of my
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
I get that. I
So
absolutely get that.
So while I'm drowning in all of the mom things and the big changes and my feelings and all of the other stuff, like, the podcast has really taken a backseat. But I'm trying really hard to, like, get a handle on that, get people on the show, have episodes coming, do my paranormal investigations, which I've done quite a few since last year, so that is another thing that I'm just, like, so stoked about. I wish I could be
Which
out
is
there doing.
dope as hell because I would love to do that too. Like, I've always been into paranormal stuff,
Mhm.
cryptids, but we talk about that a lot. We debate the
Did you
legitimacy
see
of
my
Bigfoot.
Mothman nails? It's not gonna show
That's
up very well, but yeah, I painted him myself.
adorable.
Yeah, there we go.
Amazing. Oh,
Like,
that
"Look at
ring.
him.
Yes.
Isn't he cute?"
So cute.
I'm
I
like,
love
"I'm
it.
not artistic, but damn, I did a good job."
I remember, like, learning about Mothman for the first time and how, like, mind-blowing that story
Mhm.
was.
Yeah.
Still is.
Well, this year uh, I am going to try my absolute hardest. I think we're shooting for, like, fall time, but we are trying very, very hard to get to Point Pleasant this year. So,
You know what? It looks like such a lovely place just in general, but then to
mhm.
have the added, like,
Yeah.
bonus of the cryptid,
Mhm.
that's
And Kylie,
that's peak.
you and your little smutty butt, I just know that we have to go together so we can touch the butt. Like, we have to touch
Got
his a
to.
like,
Got to,
whole cheek,
like,
right?
both
Mm,
hands, like, you
mm.
know?
Yeah.
Got
Cut
to.
them babies.
Yeah, yeah, yes, Smutty Heart, that pretty much
Yes.
describes it.
Peaches.
Who is an
Right
excellent
here.
voice actor, by the way.
Let's get on this topic. These creepy
Yeah.
little guys here. We have aliens. You're not gonna be able to see us this time, but that's okay. But we have our little alien friends, our little stuffies, while I'm holding mine,
I got
to protect me,
holding mine too.
and, Kylie's gonna tell us about Roswell, which I don't know a lot about
Alright.
because ew.
Okay. Alright, so the deal with Roswell is and this is something that I did not learn until maybe about 10 years ago. Like I said, I first heard about Roswell when Unsolved Mysteries did it back man, I think that was the '80s. And so I grew up with it in the zeitgeist, and I just assumed it had always been like that, and it wasn't. So, June before we get on Roswell, we gotta start, like, a couple of weeks before that. June 24th, 1947, Kenneth Arnold, who was an aviator and a businessman and a politician, was flying his plane somewhere near Mount Rainier, Washington, and he was looking for a downed military aircraft. And because if you find something like that at the time, you get a big reward, right? Because this is
Yeah.
right after World War II, trying to rebuild our military from all of those losses there. So he's flying around and he sees something in the mirror of his aircraft, and there were like flashes of light, and he sees a craft that he cannot identify because it does not look like a plane at all.
Mhm.
So, when he lands, he starts telling people about it, and then eventually the press gets wind of it, and they, are very interested in it, and so he's giving interviews, and he tells them that, it looked it flew like a teacup saucer skipping across a lake, and that is where we get the term flying saucer. That is when that was coined, was Kenneth Arnold sighting on June 24th, 1947.
I didn't know
And
that.
and then just days later, July 1st, 1947, Roswell, New Mexico is in the middle of nowhere. If you've never been there, it is just miles and miles of desert, and it is just in the middle of it. And at night, it is so without the moon, it is so dark because there's just nothing out there.
I'd literally
It's
shit
really
my pants out there.
yeah. It
I'd have to pack all the brown pants
I've
to fit.
driven my parents really liked to take us on long drive vacations, and so I've been through that area several times, like, in my youth and in my adulthood, and it is driving through it is almost eerie because it is so dark, there is just nothing.
I would love to
So,
go
Ros
take Milky Way photos out there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a neat town, it really is, because 'cause they've really embraced it.
Right.
So, it's famous for heat lightning, and on July 1st, 1947 they had one of the worst heat lightning storms that they've ever had. For months, leading up to the crash, there were hundreds of reported sightings of UFOs. Uh, but you gotta keep in mind that, like, in 1947, like, UFOs and spacecrafts, like, it wasn't really part of the zeitgeist. It wasn't until Kenneth Arnold came out with his sighting that people really started to kind of wonder and pay attention,
Mhm.
to even possibly accept that this was something that could be, that there are alien craft and that they are here. So, lots and lots of sightings. And the night of July 1st, the Army airfield there, near Roswell and other military stations were radar tracking, and they kept getting these blips. They would move very quickly, they would disappear, they would reappear. At one point, one of the stations even disassembled their radar equipment to see if it was malfunctioning, and it wasn't.
Mhm.
So, and Sheriff George Wilcox from Roswell, he received like dozens of reported sightings. People were calling and saying that they were seeing something, and Sheriff Wilcox was just like, "Well, it's probably just a plane from the Army Air Base, and or it's just heat lightning," and things that were easy to dismiss because, again, UFOs weren't as big of a topic then.
Right. Right.
So, enter Mac Brazel. Mac Brazel was a local rancher near Corona, New Mexico, which is right there in the same area as Roswell. And he was out on the ranch checking things out and found a debris field. And at first he of course thought it was a plane,
Right.
but he picked up some of the debris and took it to Sheriff Wilcox and reported that there was a downed plane. Sheriff Wilcox reported it to the Roswell Army Airfield, and they assigned the case to Major Jesse Marcel. He was with Army Intelligence. And so Jesse Marcel took the debris to the base commander, Colonel William Blanchard, and that material was then sent to Wright Field in Ohio.
Mhm.
So they have this material, and Kenneth Brazel, or no, I'm sorry, Mac Brazel described it as really strong aluminum foil
Mhm.
that he could crumple up, and then when he let it go, it would go back flat. Like you know how aluminum foil, once you crumple it, it's crumpled.
Right. It's done.
You can't fix it. It was like self-healing. It would flatten back out. And there were also some, not rebar, but there were other more solid pieces of metal,
Mhm.
and that he would later say had engravings on it that kind of looked like hieroglyphs. So, eventually, all of that material makes it to, Colonel William Blanchard, and then he sends it to Wright Field in Ohio. And Walter Haut issued a press release, like, immediately following the discovery of the debris field. They told the world, the official United States Army press release was that, "This is a downed UFO. We have found an alien craft." Hours later, that was rescinded, and they said, "Just kidding. It was a weather balloon."
Right.
And that was the story, and that's where that story died,
Mhm.
as far as the rest of the nation was concerned. And then nobody talked about it for a really long time.
Yeah, because I
But
was
in
gonna
the
say it
meantime,
didn't really come out until like, it didn't become, like, a big thing until, like, '70s and then '80s and then '90s, and
yes,
then it just kinda like, people just can't put it down now.
exactly. So General Roger Ramey with the Fort Worth Army Airfield, he's the one who ordered Jesse Marcel to bring him some of the wreckage to Texas. And right after the debris arrived, Ramey held a famous press conference showing showing foil and wooden debris to photographers. So
Mhm.
it's a very famous photo. They're
Yeah,
sitting there with all of this and saying, "See, just a weather balloon. Our bad. Just kidding."
right. And I've seen those photos, yeah.
Yes. So that was General Ramey that was involved in that. And then at this point, Mac Brazel, the rancher who originally discovered the debris field, he retracts his statement and says that he feels foolish for even coming forward and he regrets it. And, my bad. And like I said, that's where the story died. Enter several decades later. Dr. Bob Wood, who was an aerospace engineer, and he worked for McDonnell Douglas. And he is an established like aerospace engineer. You can look up his work history, except for this hole in his work history from 1968 to 1967, where he worked for McDonnell Douglas on a secret study to find out if UFOs were real. For that study, he brought on a nuclear physicist named Stanton Friedman. And it was an 18-month study. And when they were finished, they had determined that, yes, UFOs are real. Stanton Friedman, he gave up his work being a nuclear physicist to give speeches about UFOs. And it was just kind of a back channel thing at that point. There were whisperings of it on the fringes. It was a very, very fringe topic. And it wasn't until Stanton Friedman came around in 1978 that it really started to seep into the national zeitgeist, and then eventually, like, the worldwide, people would know about it. So Bill Allen was a TV producer, and he's the one who's told Stanton Friedman about Roswell because Bill was a ham radio friend of Jesse Marcel.
Okay.
Are we following that? I know I'm throwing a lot
Mhm.
of names out at you. And Jesse Marcel was the Army intelligence officer that the Roswell crash was assigned to.
Got
So Bill Allen was ham radio friends with him, and that's how he found out about Roswell, and then he told Stanton Friedman. So once Stanton learns about Roswell, he kind of becomes obsessed with it, leaves his work in physics to give lectures and to investigate, and eventually he finds Mac Brazel and Jesse Marcel and interviews them and starts interviewing more and more people. And it turns out that there are lots of people in the Roswell area that have stories to tell, and they kept quiet all of those years because they were patriots. And if you know anything about World War II and World War II government propaganda, they were constantly telling people loose lips sink ships. You don't talk about government things and military movements. If the government tells you to shut up, you shut up.
Right.
And so they did. And also because they were scared. There's a doctor there in he was a mortician there in Roswell, and he has an interesting story about the military ordering child-sized caskets from
Yes,
him.
I have heard that.
And there is a nurse with a story who saw what was in those caskets and that they were alien bodies that were recovered from not that first crash or from not the main crash, but there was also another one. There was a second crash on July 4th, 1947. There was a big lightning storm that night, and 2 ships were seen over Corona, New Mexico, and they both crashed. So Mac Brazel, the original finder of the debris field from July 1st,
Mhm.
remembers hearing an unusual thunderclap that night, and later he stated that he believed that it was the crash that he heard.
That I heard. Okay.
So there was an archaeologist with the last name of Holden, I don't have his first name here, and he was on a dig, and those archaeologists found that second impact site, and they reported it to Sheriff Wilcox. The civilians were cleaned out of the area, the military takes over, and the site is cleaned up in 6 hours, and the story is that 5 alien bodies were recovered that night. Glenn Dennis is the name of the mortician
Mhm.
who was asked for those child-sized caskets, and the more Stanton Friedman dug, the more he was able to find, and it just is the most insane story that just never seems to end because it's at some point, Jesse Marcel Jr., the son of Major Jesse Marcel, does make a public statement that his father brought home pieces of the wreckage and that he saw this like magic metal, the self-healing aluminum foil and like the bar with the alien
Mhm.
writing on it.
Right.
It's a wild story and it just keeps getting deeper.
Mhm. Now, do you know, the from the Roswell site, I know you said, like, there was the nurse and stuff who saw the bodies. Did any of those officials, like, end up going missing, like, in other alien crash sites or, that because there's stories from other, like, military bases that are rumored to have had alien wreckage or alien bodies or even aliens themselves, and people who have kind of, like, disclosed that at the time all of a sudden either wind up dead or just never seen again.
I want to say the answer to that is yes, but it is escaping me right now
Mhm.
who that would be.
Okay.
But I know that all of these people that later in life, that by the time Stanton Friedman interviewed them, they were all fairly into their senior years by
Right.
the time Stanton interviewed them, and they were, and that's why they were willing to talk, is because at
Mhm.
that point, like, what can the government do?
Right,
I'm
right.
85 years old, right? So, but that's also part of the problem with the Roswell story, is that so many of the witnesses' statements were gathered decades later. And
Mhm.
we all know that human memory is fallible. And
Right.
then there are other stories of government disinformation, and it's a very muddy topic. And it's hard to find undisputed facts about the case
Right.
because it
Okay.
was hushed up for so long, and the site was cleaned up. Both sites were cleaned up thoroughly by the government. 1993, Congress told the Air Force to do an internal investigation to find Roswell documents. So they did. And in 1995, they delivered the Roswell report. And in there, the US government admitted that the weather balloon story was a hoax, that it was a lie. But then the government told its citizens that it wasn't a weather balloon, it was Project Mogul, which was high altitude aircraft, or balloons is what they were.
Essentially spying or
Yes, spy
yes,
craft,
for
yes.
intelligence for, like, other countries, making sure they weren't, like, intercepting, it's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, high altitude nuclear spy balloons,
Yes.
is what we were told then. So, still not a UFO.
Right.
But then in '97, the second Roswell report was put out, where they said, "Okay, it wasn't Project Mogul. What we were actually doing was high altitude balloons where we were throwing dummies out of them to see what happens when they
Right.
crash on the ground." And that's what explains
The
the
bodies.
little bodies that were found. And, like, sometimes their heads were missing, or, like, the legs were
Right.
burned off, so that's why they looked little, and they were missing some fingers, so that explains the description of, like, the four-fingered alien.
Right.
They were just dummies, and this mortician and this nurse, they were just mistaken because they don't know what human bodies look like. They don't know what.
A mortician
But,
has
well,
no idea.
it wasn't a human body, but, they don't
Right.
know what an actual body of something looks like.
She's in right.
Easy mistake to make. Yeah,
Sure,
just a
sure.
ridiculous, an
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous statement. And keep in mind that, so kinda like the sister story to this is Area 51,
Right.
because, um, Area 51 is, it's not there in Roswell, but it's, kind of in that ballpark.
Mhm.
And for all of those years, up until, like, I think it was the mid-90s. So it was pretty much with the invention. Oh, okay, that was much later than I thought. Okay, so I think maybe my memory on this is skewed because, like, I've always believed that Area 51 was a thing, but it wasn't until August 15th of 2013 that the US government officially said, "Okay, it's out there." But they were forced to do this because of the advent of Google Earth.
Mhm.
We could see that there was a blacked out area on Google Earth exactly where everyone said Area 51 was. It's right there. And that part I get. There has to
Classified
be
and
top
even
secret stuff.
right.
Yeah, for military aircraft
For
and
security
cutting edge
reasons.
things.
Yes.
I get it. But, like, come on, it was 2013. Give me a break.
Right.
There
So
used to be. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna tell you, so we're all well aware here on my podcast. I've explained to you. I know I've talked about it on the TikTok lives that we've done, and then in the Discord. I've always been afraid of aliens. Like this has been a
Mhm.
thing for me since I was like a toddler. Like as long and as far back as I can remember, I have always, always, always had a fear of aliens. And I don't know why, and I do not know where it comes from. Not a single clue. My older sister, who is 7 years older than I am, is also deathly afraid of aliens. My younger sibling, who's 2 years younger than me, and then my subsequent 2 siblings, who are 11 and 13 years younger than me, are totally fine. They have no aversion to aliens or anything alien-esque. So it's just me and my older sister. My older sister was born in Montana in the year 1980. It was born in England. So, and over in England, there was many, 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 there's always been talks of aliens over there, over the hills, as well as, other obvious.
The Rendlesham Forest
Yes.
incident, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I have reoccurring nightmares, reoccurring dreams, like just dreams, as well as nightmares. One of those is that it's like playing a video game almost. It is point of view person. So it is me, like I'm seeing out of my own eyes in this dream, and I am on a military base somewhere. And I am frantically running as are other military personnel trying to hide from alien beings that have gotten loose at this military base. It is like the most terrifying fucking dream, and I have had it repeatedly for years and years and years. And the
Have
military
you
uniforms are very similar to that of 60s and 70s military personnel. So then I was listening to Two Girls, One Ghost, amazing podcast. I adore these girls. And they were talking about Sabrina of that podcast. She loves aliens. And so she was talking about aliens on one of their episodes, and she started discussing a military incident where people had come forward after the fact that there was, alien beings that were kept on this military base that had it gotten out and had killed some personnel, caused a huge thing, blah, blah, blah. Then, within weeks after that, some of the surviving military members had gone and they had discussed that incident with other people, and then they were killed. They were found dead, like, within days of disclosing that information to other people. So, I had never heard of this because again, I don't do aliens. So then I was listening to that, and that was the only thing I could think of was that dream that I have, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god, like, was this a past life
that
for me?
yeah,
Is that
that is
what is coming?"
wild.
So I have tried to find that episode. It does not exist. I cannot find it. Like, I cannot find it. I have looked.
Wow.
So, I'm not sure if that was like, "Hey, we're over here on this timeline and you're hearing this, and wake up and this is your dream, and then now we're gonna scoot you over to this one, and now you have the knowledge, but the thing that gave you that doesn't exist anymore." I have no idea. But, yeah. So, I need to look a little more into that, because we also know how the government really, really, really loves to release things and then hide them again.
Yeah.
Like, this was stuff that they were able to find somewhere, somehow. These, claims, stories, proof of these people being murdered and or found dead. Well, we won't say murdered. They were found deceased after they had disclosed certain things about the military. So, but yeah, so that didn't help my alien aversion.
Yeah, uh, have you have you had any missing time?
Uh,
Like,
Nothing
do you have
significant that I can remember.
anything that's, like, typical
Mm-mm. So
of
I have sleep
abduction
paralysis.
scenarios?
I have sleep paralysis, which I don't think is alien related. I guess it could be in some way, but I don't think mine is. I have nightmares, and like I said, I have recurring dreams, and they're not always That one I think would be classified as a nightmare because it scares the shit out of me, but most of the recurring things are literally just dreams that I'm just reliving over and over and over again, and sometimes it'll be like, I'll have this dream, and then I'll leave off, and then months later, I'll be back in that same place, but it's just a continuation of the last time I was there.
Wow.
So,
That
it's
is really
really
interesting.
my dream worlds are it's crazy. But yeah, no, I've never had just missing time, or anything like that. I truly, truly do not know why I have the fear that I have. I will say it has gotten better in the last year, but I think that has a lot to do with, like I said, I have my alien doll. I purposely put, insert little alien things into my life now to try and, because this would have
Exposure
never
therapy.
yeah, this would have absolutely never happened in the past. Like, I couldn't even discuss it without having a panic attack. That is how bad it was.
So I am from this tiny town called Green River, Wyoming.
Mhm,
13,000 people. It sits in a depression in the earth, completely surrounded by mountains. It's like this little bowl.
mhm,
And up in the desert, we have a place that we called the old airport.
mhm,
Now, there was never an airport out there. It was just some flat tracks of dirt, like a dirt road where
right,
airplane model hobbyists would go and
right.
fly their planes out of. So
Okay,
it was that kind of airport. Like it
love
was
it.
just dirt. So we have it is the official Green River intergalactic spaceport. There's a sign and everything. So like this is like the community I grew up in where things like that were so embraced that the
Right.
municipality actually voted on it. We have a sign. Yes.
I just, yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if the fear stems from an experience that I had when I was really young, and maybe my sister also had a similar experience because again, she has the same fear. So I don't know if this happened when we were like overseas. I don't know, or if it's just like the fear of the unknown. But but there's tons of things that I don't know, right? And nothing scares me as much as that.
Yeah. That's a very human experience.
Right. So there's those things, but I'm definitely not naive enough to think that there aren't aliens out there.
I think it's the height of human arrogance to say one way or the other that you
Right.
absolutely know for sure.
Right.
Because inexplicably, there is life on this planet that
Mhm.
we don't know how it started.
Right.
We're just here.
Mhm.
And to believe that we are the only special ones in a universe as infinite and vast as ours
Mhm.
just seems really narcissistic to me.
Right. It doesn't seem plausible either.
Exactly.
So, and look at how many new things are discovered just on our own planet,
Yeah.
every year, especially like ocean shit. Oh my god. Who knows down
If
there?
there's aliens hiding on this planet, they are in the ocean.
There, right? Now, did I ask you, have you ever seen The Abyss?
That is absolutely in my top 10 favorite shows.
I love The Abyss. I can watch that movie, no problem.
Well, they don't really show the aliens until the very end, and then they're very just like peaceful,
Pretty,
innocuous beings of
right.
light.
I
Yeah.
don't know. So, yeah, um, and then Angie told me to watch because I was like, "I'm gonna be a big kid. I'm gonna watch an alien movie. I'm gonna do it." So I don't remember what it was called. She said it scared her. It didn't. I did fine. I watched the whole thing. There was one part, and I think it was, like, the first time you were, like, about to see the alien.
I can't hear you. I don't know if that's on me or on you.
Can you hear me now?
There you are.
Okay. That's weird. Is it up? Still recording. Okay. Sorry, guys. Says a new recording track was just I'm not really sure what just happened, but it's the aliens or the ghosts.
They don't
So,
want the word out. They don't want the word
I
out.
have a confession. We're gonna swap topics here before the end, real quick. I got a haunted doll. I don't have her yet.
Nice.
I purchased one,
Amazing.
and I have a haunted mirror in my house. It's actually directly below this room that I'm in. It's there right by my front door. Her name is Jean. She's beautiful. I love her. She's mostly quiet and chill, okay?
I'm sorry, the mirror is named Jean?
The mirror is named Jean. That's
Okay.
the ghost that lives in the
In the
mirror.
mirror, okay.
We
So
called
mirrors at night are a hard pass for me.
a
If
hard
if I
pass.
get up to use the restroom, I'm not looking in at some bitch. I'm not doing it.
She's a old
Absolutely
gal.
not.
She's a
Not
little
doing it.
cranky, but she likes her peace. She's just been vibing down there. Like, we have some weird things that happen here and there in the house, but, like, for the most part, the house is calm. So yesterday, I was at my son's mid-state conference for track and field, and I was like, "I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna look through all these dolls, and I'm gonna see what happens," right? So I'm looking through all these dolls, and I just kept going back to this one. So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get this one." Okay.
That's gotta be the one.
I purchase her. Shipping she shipped today, so I should get her, by next week. And I was like, "Okay, done deal." Mind you, I am not here at my house, okay? I'm far away, but apparently Jean knew. Jean's keeping tabs on me. So I get home last night after the track meet, and I walk in my house, and I have kids, I have teenage boys, they are forgetful creatures, and they don't turn off lights and shit like that, okay? I get
You
it.
ain't never lied.
But my son, my other son, but again, nobody was here. My one son, the youngest, was gone last night. He was with his dad. And then my other son, who had the meet, was not home yet. So I come in the house and my television's on in the living room. And I was like, "The fuck? Like, who's leaving shit on again?" So I get the remote, which is in, how like sectionals will have the little cabinet thingy, cubby thingy in there.
Yeah, I get you.
So that's where we keep all of our remotes. So I grab it out, turn off the television, put the remote back, and then I'm like, "I need to pee." So I go to the bathroom. I'm in there for just a couple of minutes, wash my hands, turn off the light, and I walk out and I hear music. And I'm like, "The fuck is that?" Because there's nobody here and there is nothing on. So I walk out into the living room and there's actually a video of me because I stop at the at the corner of the living room and I look over and I was like, "What the fuck?" The television is back on.
Nope.
TV's back on, but
Nope.
she's on the television is on so, like, the new televisions now, you can put, like, the screensavers when they go into sleep mode, it'll be a screensaver, and, well, this one apparently plays music. It was in sleep mode. I was like, "I was only in there for a couple of minutes, there's no fucking way you're on
Yeah,
sleep
no
mode
way.
all of a
No.
sudden." So I'm like, "Okay, I get it." So I turn it off again. So then I texted my husband because you can also, like, control that television with your phone. I have the app. I do not believe that my husband ever downloaded the app, but I texted him and I was like, "Are you fucking with me? Like, did you turn the television on?" He's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "The television was on when I got home and it was back on. Like, I turned it off and now it's back on and it's, like, asleep and playing music." He's like, "I didn't touch it." I'm like, "Okay." So, methinks that Jean knows that I have purchased a haunted item, and I'm bringing a friend to
I
do
know you're not bringing another ghost up in here.
so and it's supposedly a child ghost, so I think Jean is just not she's not feeling, this current impending guest. And now my thing stopped recording and has created a new track or something, I'm not really sure what that did. So, I think Jean's throwing a little bit of hissy fit right now. "It'll be fine, Jean."
Don't you bring that baby ghost up in here.
Right.
I'm
She better
tired.
be quiet. But, yeah, so the very first time that I used, like, ghost tube around Jean, I was like, "Are you haunted? Like, is anybody in there?" Basically, like, "You're, like, super old, whatever, like, anyone home? Hello?" And it told me to be quiet. And I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And then it said, "You're annoying." And I was like, "Wow, you're super sweet." And then it said something else. I had asked what, like, if it had a name. It said something else, I don't remember what it was, and then I was like, "Okay," and then I was like, "Well, I'm sorry I bothered you, da 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 da," and then it said Jean after that, so that's why her name is Jean. So, she's crotchety, she doesn't like talking, she wants her peace and her quiet. This is not a retirement home, Jean, I'm sorry. My house is anything but quiet.
She just hangs up there all day going, "Ugh, hate it."
Ugh, this girl's back again. Because every time I walk in around, I'm like, "Hi, Jean. Bye, Jean. Good morning, Jean." So, yeah, she's downstairs. So, I won't be keeping the doll's name is Diana. I will not be keeping Diana in the same room with Jean. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, their rooms are, on top of one another. So, we'll see. I need to get a
Great.
camera in here after I get Diana in here
Yeah,
to
that would be amazing.
right? To make sure nothing's,
See what happens.
no shenanigans are happening behind closed eyes and doors and windows.
Maybe it's not ghosts, maybe it's aliens.
It could be. Uga, are you fucking with me? This guy's name is Uga. My daughter has one. His name is Booga. So we have Uga
Love
Booga.
it. He's so cute.
He is very cute. He came
I
from IKEA. He's an IKEA alien.
This
He's an
one, where did I get this? I think it was one at a fair.
okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say he kinda looks like a
Yeah.
fair alien, but I didn't wanna
Yeah.
offend.
No, no, that
No offense, little
I'm
guy.
pretty sure he was a fair. I have another one that is actually, like, really dope that was made for me. It's crocheted, and it's, like,
Oh,
awesome. So it
that's
sits in my
cool.
living room, and it has a tinfoil hat on.
Girl, I almost rolled up
Because
in recording with a tinfoil hat on. Well, there was gonna be no video, so I didn't do it because 'cause nobody'd be able to see it. But maybe I'll record a
amazing.
little video to, like, announce the podcast, and I'll have a tinfoil hat on. I don't
I
know.
that's
Maybe I'll
that's
put one on Uga too.
if you really want to be scared, Whitley Strieber has a book called The Greys that I
Ugh,
have read I don't know how many times. Whitley Strieber is, like, kind of a legend in alien circles because,
mhm,
not only his books, but his own experience with abduction, which is what started his path into the alien world.
right.
His first book was called Communion, and that was about his story. The movie it stars Christopher Walken as him,
Okay.
and it's Whitley has a very, very interesting story.
Yeah.
Really
I don't know.
some
So,
crazy stuff.
I think I believe that there are many different kinds of alien civilizations. I think a lot of people believe that, and the Greys are just not ones that I wanna
Yeah,
recover
I would say.
So,
Yeah,
I think
I think if I
alien
had to choose, I'd pick the Nordics. I don't want anything to do with the Greys or, the reptilians.
yeah, no.
The Nordics, I think, would be my people.
Okay. See, I don't know whole I know that not off the top of my head anyway. Like, I've read some things here and there, but yeah, nothing that I have, put in my brain for memory purposes. It's a read it and dump it out kind of a thing.
Yeah.
No commitment to memory. I
Yeah,
know my friends
I just find it so interesting that it was, there was just there was nothing really like, aliens weren't part of the human existence,
Mhm.
at large. I mean, there have been reports all throughout time of, like,
Right, yeah.
lights in the sky, crafts, beings from space,
Thousands of
some
years.
native peoples
Mhm.
believe that they came from the ant people that came up from the earth or from the people that came from the sky. There's
Right.
all kinds of stories like that, but in more modern times, it
Well, and
just
I think
wasn't a thing. And during World War II, the airmen were reporting what they called Foo Fighters, and they were seeing flying crafts that just they could not explain. Because let's face it, in World War II, like planes still had propellers.
right,
There wasn't a whole lot of difference in visually in how planes
right.
were built. They were just bigger or smaller versions of one another.
So I think several things happened, over the years. Obviously, our inventions, our way of getting around, our way of, exploring our own world and,
Yeah.
seeing things has grown and changed, and so we are able to see more. But I think the bigger part is there wasn't a whole lot of free thinking going around,
No, no, no,
prior to the
especially
60s.
especially right around World War II.
Right.
Everyone had to pull together so much just to get
Mhm.
through it, to get
Right.
through, not only the hard financial and physical times, with
Right.
rationing and money was so tight and the men were all gone. There was also the grief.
Mhm.
Everyone lost someone. Everyone knew someone that had died,
Mhm.
and they didn't they had to pull together because if they didn't trust their government, then what could they trust?
Right. Yeah,
They had to have that feeling.
I think people prior to the 60s, it was, yes, what you were saying, trust your government, trust this, trust that. Women trusted their husbands, men trusted people in positions of power. It was bad if you didn't know, like, if you couldn't immediately explain it. And then before that, like I was saying, there wasn't a whole lot of options to see the world beyond, basically your little town, your little area that you
Yeah,
lived in. That was like a little bubble. And so, a lot things there just weren't things being seen, and explored, and so I think we as people now, I mean, we want to know, and we want to ask questions, and we want the information. Men and women both, at least a large majority of us, we are gonna push back, and we're not going to take the simple answers or pulling the wool over our eyes. That's not something that we're content with in this day and age for most of us.
not anymore. I don't know if you're aware of this. In 2017, government officially came out and said that the um, the TikTok and Go Fast videos were legitimate. Do you know what those are?
No.
They are two videos recorded by two separate airmen,
Mhm.
pilots, and these are men that we trust with billion-dollar aircrafts.
Right.
Okay, incredible firepower to destroy every living thing in their tracks. Okay,
Mhm.
these are capable men who have been evaluated
Right.
at nauseum for their mental stability.
Mhm.
These videos were recorded on their flight recorders, um, in multiple different like camera angles. There's like night vision, infrared, regular. So it's recorded in several different ways. And they both show the TikTok video shows like they call it TikTok video because it looks like a TikTok. And you can
Mhm.
hear the pilot reacting like, "What is that?" And, "Oh, wow, it's going so fast." And in both of these videos, right? So these videos had come out previously. Debunkers like to poo-poo things like that. Like, "Well, we don't even know if that's official." Well, in 2017, they told us that it was real, and then that it was a legitimate video, that it had not been altered, that both of those videos were legitimate. And then in 2020, when everyone's busy, like, worried about, COVID and we're all trapped in our
Mhm.
homes, they just kinda quietly said, "Yeah, those are real. We don't know who they belong to, they're not ours,
Right. P.S., by the way.
and we don't know of any other earthly government that has those capabilities, because it defies the laws of physics as we know it." The maneuvers that they were pulling, the speeds, the turning,
Right.
but you have to slow an aircraft before you
Yes.
turn, not these.
My grandfather was
So
actually a pilot in the Air Force.
excellent. So when you hear these pilots' reactions to to what they're seeing,
Mhm.
it blows your mind even further because these guys, they've seen some shit. You know what I mean? Like they've been in dogfights. They know their aircrafts. I mean, real life Top Gun kind of shit. And they know what aircrafts are capable of using physics as we know it. And these things were doing things that were impossible.
Well, you have to
And the
send me the videos so that I can check them out, because 'cause I'll watch them.
of course. Yeah.
See, because yeah, I don't think that I have seen the videos. Again, anything alien-esque, I'm usually like, "Scroll, scroll, get it off my." I don't like that, don't bring that back.
I'm just here for exposure therapy. "Hey, have you heard of Betty and Barney Hill?"
I
That'll
have.
scare the shit out
I
of you.
No, I have. I've listened to tons of podcasts. I know there's a book. I've not read the book. I think there's a movie, isn't there? Or
There
am I making
there
that up?
is.
There is? Okay. See, I
Is
would
I
watch the
find
have you
Betty
ever
and
watched the
Barney truly
400?
fascinating. What?
Have you ever seen the 400 or 4400?
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem there. I'm just my brain is just weird. Some things it can do, other things it's like, "Control Alt Delete, get this
Nothing.
out of here, we're done."
Yeah, Betty and Barney Hill, their recordings of their hypnosis, their regressive
Mhm.
hypnosis about
Yep,
that night,
yep.
truly
Terrifying.
terrifying.
Yeah,
Barney was it's not often that you hear a man react like that to something,
yeah.
especially a man from that time,
No. And I
because
have not
they were abducted in '61,
yeah, I was gonna say it was in the
and
same
they were and it's not like Barney was some kind of, like, weak dude. He
mm-mm.
and Betty were an interracial couple in 1961, and they were, civil rights activists. So it's not like they were weak people. They were very, very strong people.
And I think and don't quote me on this, but I think there was a couple within the show, The 4400, that was interracial. I think they
Yes.
kinda modeled that
Yes.
after
Kind of a
Betty and Barney.
nod, yeah, to Betty and Barney.
Yep. Um So I've not listened to the recordings of that, but I have, like, the reading of, like, what was said and stuff, but I've not actually heard him or her give their testimony, I guess, under hypnosis and stuff, so
I will say that that might be difficult for you.
it might be, yeah, I don't know. Again, my brain does weird things, so it might be, like, super into it, I don't know. But yeah, I was saying I'd go to Roswell. I think it'd be cool.
The museum there is one of the coolest fucking places I've ever been. I coulda stayed in there forever and read every bloody thing, but I had when we went, I had some littles. My youngest, I think, was
Yeah,
about 8, 10 years old.
okay, yeah.
You
I
know,
have no
you can
time for
only
that.
stay in a museum for so long. But they have the coolest display of, like, a craft and aliens, and it's, like, all life size, and then, like,
Mhm.
every half hour, like, smoke comes out of it, and the lights
Oh, I
turn
love
on,
it.
and the aliens start to move, and then they have a display of the alien autopsy, like a
Mhm.
recreation
Okay, so that would
of
probably scare the
of
shit out
that, which it's really cool. It's
of me.
really
I'd
cool.
probably run screaming from
Yeah.
that would be a cover my eyes and just, like, guide me through.
Yeah, going to Roswell was a bucket list trip because, like, I they do have, like, the festival they have,
Mhm.
like, a festival every year, and
Yeah.
we went, like, when that was not going on, but it was
Mhm.
still really fun to go into all the little shops and see how, like, the town embraces what it what it's famous for.
Right. Have you I'm looking right now to make sure that I'm not, making things up here. Okay. Have you ever done a CE5 event? No? Okay. So, my crazy ass was like, "I bet I could do that." I never did, but that's
What
where
is
my
it?
brain goes. CE5 events are here, I'm just gonna read it. Is a close encounters of the fifth kind refers to human initiated
Sign me up. That's all I need.
contact with extraterrestrial intelligence, often involving meditation, light signals, and peaceful intent to summon UFOs. Popularized by Dr. Stephen Greer,
Stephen
these
Greer,
events
yeah.
aimed at direct communication with non-human intelligences. So, there's
He's an
actually,
interesting
like,
guy.
on YouTube, there's, like, CE5 event, like, music and sounds and stuff, and you can literally just
Ooh.
play those and chill outside, and I'm like, I'd probably I'd go into it, but like, "Yeah, I could do it," and then, like, 2 minutes in, I'd probably be freaking the fuck out.
So like all of these years that I've been into aliens and I've been studying and learning about all of these different events, I have never seen anything
Yeah.
until a couple of years ago in in this house. I have a hammock out back that
Mhm.
I love to sit in, and I was sitting out there, and right between the 2 houses behind me, I saw something in the sky, and I was like and I'm experienced with this enough to be like, rule out everything else,
Right,
right?
right.
Well, it definitely wasn't a plane because it wasn't moving,
Mhm,
and it wasn't anything like a light pole
mhm.
or something hanging from wires because there weren't any there. It wasn't anything coming off one of the houses. And so, like, I'm trying to verify, right? And near my hammock is my bedroom window, and um, my husband was in the bedroom, and I was like, "Hey,
Oh,
hey, do you
do
see
you see
this?
this?
Hey!" And I'm yelling at him, and it's like he finally opens the window, and I was like, "Do you see this?" And I looked, and it was gone, and I was very upset
I would have
because
been like, "We're moving."
was I was so hopeful. I was like, "They finally have come to take me home.
They finally came.
Please, please get me off this rock.
So,
I cannot
Mothman,
believe this timeline."
there was a Mothman sighting in Indiana, actually,
Cool.
up north, northern Indiana, and I was like, "He's coming for me. He knows I'm here." Look at that.
He remembered
Mothman's
our
my boyfriend.
date.
So, I keep joking about that. I'm like, "I wonder if he's getting closer." And I just bought all my Mothman paraphernalia. Like, "Come on, buddy."
I'm your biggest fan.
Right. "Come and get me. It'll be so much fun." Alright, Kylie, well, thank you so, so, so much for coming on today. Despite the fact that the topic was aliens, I had a great time
I
learning
did. I
about
had a great time.
Roswell. I
Thank you
would
for
love to have you
inviting
back
me.
anytime. You wanna come and talk about
Sure.
literally
I mean, we
anything.
can talk
So,
about Betty and Barney. We can
yeah.
talk about Bob Lazar
See, I don't
and
know what that is.
the
Don't know who it
Phoenix
is, what it is.
Lights.
Nope.
Bob Lazar. There's a rabbit hole. Yeah,
Okay. I
he's
love a good rabbit
fascinating.
hole. That's me with timelines and
Yeah,
doppelgangers, all that. Yeah, that's my rabbit hole. So, well,
amazing.
tell the people where they can find you.
I am on TikTok at Stitchmata and on Instagram, same
Alright.
handle, Stitchmata.
And
S
and I'll
S
attach those. Yeah. I'll, send the link to me, and I will attach those
Cool.
in the show notes for
Okay.
'em, so that way they can just clicky clicky and get right to you.
Amazing.
Alright,
Just so
well,
you know, if you follow me, it's mostly about audio erotica.
hey,
I
book
don't
talk
really cover
girl.
aliens. I love aliens, but I really love audio erotica.
Hey,
So that's what I cover.
I hear that there are some real good alien smut books, so
I wouldn't know some of the like, I quit okay, I quit digging on stuff like that when I found, like, Taken by a Raptor. Okay, it's dinosaur, like, smut, and I can't. I'm
I would
not
have
going to
considered
kink
that
shame.
too.
I will not kink shame, but I will kink ask why.
We're not yucking people's yums, but
No, but I do have questions.
I do. I have lots actually about a lot of things.
Mhm.
Alright, guys, and then for me, I am Ghost Tracks Podcast, and you can find me pretty much anywhere that you get a podcast, all socials, and then if you have stories, were you abducted? Were you probed? You can email me, ghosttrackspodcast@gmail.com, and then I have a website now. It is www.ghosttrackspodcast.com, and there is merch available. There are some alien designs in there, and I will be adding more. But yeah, I think that's all for us today. Thank you very much. Thank you,
I thank you.
Kylie.
Had a great chat.
Thank you. All right, everybody, stay creepy. Bye.
Bye.